How to close fat deals using cold outreach and a Google Doc. From 2023 to 2024, I had an offer. It was $30,000 and it was called the Phoneless Sales Installation Offer. And so basically what it was, I had a system to close really expensive deals, typically $5,000 to $30,000, let's say, using a Google Doc and doing it without sales calls. So what I did was I wrote a guide. It actually became a book later that was called No Sales Calls. If you followed me for a couple years, then you might have downloaded that book before. But it started off as a Google Doc. And the Google Doc was just titled, How to Close High Ticket Deals Without Ever Getting on a Sales Call. And the doc was, I believe it was 33 pages long. So there was a title. The introduction was a stack of 5 case studies. And it was case studies of people that I helped to implement this system. And then the chapters within the Google Doc, there was 5 or 6 chapters, were just the steps needed to achieve the outcome in the headline. So for example, step 1 was like, create a Godfather offer. Step 2 was send out this email or send out this chat message. Step 3, and then there was 5 or 6 steps in the guide. I can't remember exactly how many, but it was a very useful guide. So there was a headline that talked about something, a result that the reader wanted. Then there was an intro with a few proof shots of people who have gotten the result in the headline. And then the chapters were the steps needed to achieve the result in the headline. The conclusion of the guide was a summary and a recap of the steps. And it was an invitation for someone to reach out to me through chat if they wanted me to install the system for them. Okay. And this did very, very well. So the way that I launched it was, and maybe I'll re-release this video on my YouTube channel because I made a lot of my old videos private. But the way that I launched this was I first just shot a video. I think it was like 40 minutes long. And it was just me going through the doc, just line by line, just going through the doc. So it was a video of me. I had the doc up on screen and I was just walking through the doc and also showing examples of each step that I was talking about. And just from posting that YouTube video and having that doc live, I think I closed 3 or 4 people at $30,000. Now that not everyone was paying full. If they split it up into installments, it was a bit more expensive. So for example, they would put like $10,000 down and then they would pay a monthly fee for, it was a 6-month offer. So they would pay a monthly fee for 5 remaining months. And I got 3 or 4 people just posting it like in the first week or so. And obviously it's a good amount of money, right? But then what I started to do was I wanted more people. And before I started running ads, I went to LinkedIn, which is my favorite platform to do any kind of cold prospecting because you can target based on the job title and the company size and whatnot in the industry. And I just started reaching out to, I started off with online business coaches and online business consultants and just reaching out to them and just saying, hey, I saw that you have an audience, you look like an expert in your field here and you're posting content. So I was also reaching out to people who were already posting content because that was one of my criteria. And I just reached out to them with a message like, hey, I saw that you're an online coach and you're posting content. And let me ask you this. How are you currently closing high ticket deals? If you're currently using a sales team, a phone sales team, I have a method where you can close high ticket deals using just DM chat and email. Check out this guide that I created that tells you how to do that. And so I would drop the link to the guide. People would read through it. And I don't know exactly how many people read through the entire thing, but I got a good amount of business. And again, this is a $30,000 offer. I wasn't doing sales calls for this offer either because it wouldn't be congruent if I'm saying how to close deals without sales calls than doing sales calls. And so I was closing $30,000 deals in the DMs, just reaching out to people on LinkedIn and sending them this guide. And so the way to do cold outreach, and I just spun up a new guide. It's around the real estate investing strategy that I use. I call it remote IC rentals. My last video breaks down the doc and it breaks down an example video. And now I'm going to be starting to prospect again and reaching out to people on LinkedIn again using the same strategy. So eventually what you can do with these docs is you can turn them into books, and then you can run ads to books, because people understand books more than like a Google Doc with information. So I turned that original doc into a book called No Sales Calls. I started running very simple Facebook and Instagram ads to it, and it was a free book download. So they would download the book. There was a few upsells, like some digital products. And then once someone downloaded the book, they were on my email list where I could then market to them over time and invite them to the $30,000 offer. And I made really good money. It was a 7-figure offer, or offer stack, I should say. And it ran from 2023 to 2024. 2024, I spun up a new offer using a very similar process. It is called 1 Hour Books. I'm still running that offer. And now I'm also rolling out a new offer, like I said, for people interested in real estate, high income and high net worth individuals who want to get into real estate. I have a done for you service around that. And so the way to do cold outreach and the way to close fat deals by doing cold outreach is you have to, at least the way that I do it, you have to have something that people want. You can start by writing a very useful piece of content, and you can do this on a Google Doc. And that's what I did with my Google Doc. I'll have some screenshots or something on the screen, or maybe link to it in the description so you can check it out. But you write up a valuable Google Doc that outlines your system and the steps. And at the end, you invite the reader to work with you on installing that system and using that system. So that's what I've seen work for cold outreach very well, is you have something that people want. And that's why guides and books are great, because through the chapters, if someone's reading through it, you're already pre-selling them on whatever it is that's in the doc. And the invitation at the end is just a formality at that point. It's just like, hey, you already like this system, right? Well, if you like it and you want me to do it for you or do it with you very closely one-on-one, then click here to book a call or click here to reach out to me, and I can do this for you. So that's what I've seen work very well for a long time with cold outreach. And those are the types of cold outreach messages that I buy from. So if you want to close fat deals, and especially if you are on LinkedIn or you're thinking about doing LinkedIn, this is the way that I've done it and the way that I've seen it work. So I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments if you are doing something similar. Let me know if you want to see any specific video topics in the upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next one.